Picture this, April 4th, 1968. A single gunshot rings out in Memphis, Tennessee. The man who falls is none other than Martin Luther King Jr., the beacon of hope for the American civil rights movement. But who held the gun? Who pulled the trigger? On that fateful day, King was standing on the second-floor balcony of the Lorraine Motel. He was there to lead a peaceful march in support of striking sanitation workers. It was a day like any other, filled with hope and purpose, until that fatal moment shattered the tranquility. The immediate aftermath was chaos, a whirlwind of fear and confusion. A manhunt was launched, but the question that kept echoing was, who really assassinated Martin Luther King Jr. and why? Was it the act of a lone gunman, driven by hatred and prejudice? Or was there something more, a shadowy conspiracy that aimed to silence one of the most powerful voices of the era? Could it have been a lone gunman? Or was there a more sinister conspiracy at play? Let's delve into the mystery. According to the official record, James Earl Ray confessed to the crime. But was it that simple? In the wake of the assassination, James Earl Ray was swiftly apprehended and charged. The evidence against him seemed conclusive. A rifle with his fingerprints, a bag with his belongings discovered near the crime scene, and a trail of aliases that led the authorities right to his doorstep. Ray's subsequent confession seemed to seal the case. However, the narrative was far from unassailable. There were discrepancies in the timeline, in the ballistic evidence, and in the behavior of Ray himself. Why would a petty criminal suddenly execute such a high-profile assassination? Why did he retract his confession just days after making it? And why did he spend the rest of his life attempting to secure a trial that was never granted? So if Ray was the assassin, why are there still lingering doubts about his guilt? As with any high-profile assassination, theories abound. Some suggest there was a government conspiracy to silence King. Others point to the mafia. But what's the truth? Amidst the swirl of speculation, one of the most prevalent theories suggests a government conspiracy. This idea isn't entirely unfounded. It's no secret that King was under heavy surveillance by the FBI, with Director J. Edgar Hoover taking a personal interest in his activities. Critics argue that the government saw King's influence and the potential upheaval he could cause as a threat. But concrete evidence, that remains elusive. Then there's the mafia theory. Some believe that King's assassination was a mob hit, orchestrated in retaliation for his role in the civil rights movement. This theory leans heavily on the involvement of James Earl Ray, King's convicted assassin, who had known connections to the criminal underworld. Yet, like the government conspiracy theory, hard evidence is scant. Further theories abound, each more labyrinthine than the last. Some suggest that the assassination was the work of a rogue faction within the US military. Others point to big business interests threatened by King's push for economic equality, and then there are those who believe that Ray was a patsy, set up to take the fall while the real culprits walked free. But why do these theories persist? Perhaps it's because the idea of a lone gunman seems too simple, too mundane for such a seismic event. Or maybe it's because these theories provide a focal point for the broader distrust and disillusionment felt by many towards the institutions of power. These theories, as intriguing as they are, may lead us down a rabbit hole of speculation. But it's crucial to remember the man at the center of it all. Martin Luther King Jr. was a beacon of hope and a symbol of the struggle for equality. And regardless of who pulled the trigger, it's important not to let the conspiracy theories overshadow the legacy of a man who changed the world. Martin Luther King Jr. was not just a man. He was a symbol of hope, a beacon of change. His assassination sent shockwaves across the world, but his legacy lives on. King's impact on the civil rights movement was monumental. He championed nonviolent protest, inspiring millions to demand equality and justice. His "I Have a Dream" speech remains a powerful testament to his vision for a better world. His death, a tragic moment in the American black rights struggle, only magnified the importance of his message. The world mourned, but his dream did not die. Today, over half a century later, King's influence is still felt. His words continue to inspire. His life continues to be a model for those fighting for justice. In the end, the question of who killed Martin Luther King Jr. may never be definitively answered. But his life, his work, and his legacy, those will continue to inspire for generations to come.